What's up, you guys? It's the Authentic Empress. Okay. You know, the best gift that you can give to yourself and anybody else in this world, anybody that you encounter, okay, from the moment of you being aware of your surroundings, um, being conscious of right and wrong, the best gift that you can give to yourself and anyone else is the truth. Some of you guys, when you were younger, could have experienced, being put in situations or being tempted or tested in situations where you were tested on whether you would tell the truth or lie. Some of you guys could have lied in some situations, okay? um, whether it was a big lie, white lies, stupid lies, lies that didn't make sense, or a good lie, okay? Or a believable lie, all right? And this was all for you to see the difference in the impact, the effect, the influence of the lie versus the truth, right? Because God is the spirit of truth, whereas evil is the spirit of deception. So, in a lot of cases, there are rewards for evil and rewards for divinity, right? And with that being said, there are quote unquote things that people gain from telling a lie, and there are things or rewards that you gain from telling the truth. In a lot of cases, when a lie or deception is involved, there are other evil spirits associated with what you gain as a result of leading with a lie. Like, for example, stealing something. Stealing something, and then when confronted about whatever was stolen or taken or moved, lying about it, and then for you get that temporary instant gratification of seemingly getting away with taking something that does not belong to you. You get what I'm saying? So there's that energy, and then with telling the truth. All right, so we know that truth is also synonymous or equivalent to freedom, right? So whether people are open, receptive, willing to accept a truth or honesty, at the end of the day, whether they persecute you, whether they lie on you or respond with deception, like respond to your truthfulness or your honesty with deception, you have to develop this courage and this boldness to still be honest, okay? Still be authentic, still speak the truth in the situation. Because even if people try to make a truth speaker a prisoner in any way, shape, or form, it's inevitable for that truth speaker to still be set free if they stand on the truth. Okay, if they still choose to be honest or truthful in the situation. Now, when it comes to appointed timing or timing, okay, with what you reveal, and why God also emphasizes the importance of discretion and mystery, right? And why you are considered fearfully and wonderfully made. This is because there are times where the truth, it's better for it to be spoken, at a particular time, season, whatever the case may be, right? An appointed time. This is why in tarot or tarot we have the high priestess energy. You'll hear people define or describe the high priestess as someone who knows something. They know a lot. They know the secrets. They know these truths, but they may not always reveal what they know. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that the high priestess is never going to reveal what they know. It's about divine timing, okay? It's about that appointed time. Now, whether you are guided to move with discretion and mystery, the reason why the divine gives us these truths or these skills and this discernment, this ability to identify the truth or identify the lie in a situation is so that we move accordingly, so that we free ourselves from something that's intended to imprison us, okay, restrict us, limit us, okay. In a lot of cases, and most of the conflict, most of the opposition that you guys encounter in life overall will be, you know, people who are trying to restrict you, okay, trying to create some type of limitations for you, okay, restrict some aspect of you, okay, whether that is your confidence, your ability to grow and expand, your success, okay, basically your garden, okay. If they can poison or pollute anything, like create some type of problems or something that, you know, to distract you or create delay, you know, that is typically people's end goal when it comes to warfare, okay. Steal, kill, destroy. I had passed this billboard earlier, and y'all know how in school when we were younger, the fire department used to teach us stop, drop, and roll. You know what I'm saying? If for any reason you are in a fire, you catch on fire, stop, drop, and roll. The billboard said stop. I think it said stop, drop. No, stop, lock. Was it stop, lock, and roll? Oh, I wish I could remember exactly. But the message that I got from it was that is a lot of people's tactic when it comes to binding people, right? The goal is to stop that person from doing something that is essential or necessary on behalf of the divine, okay. God has put whatever that is within that person for them to carry it forth, okay, for them to manifest it, bring it into fruition, you know, sow seeds pertaining to whatever that is. And there will be these demonic energies on assignment to literally put that to stop it, okay, put some type of lock or restriction on that person, and then try to escape after doing so. And what I mean, the reason why I, you know, did this with escape is that escape from accountability. Like, they'll still want to, in some cases they'll still want to remain attached to that person, okay, to kind of harvest off this person's anxiety, you know, this person's lower vibrational feelings or confusion, distortion, okay. And why do evil consider distortion and confusion beneficial or profitable? And this is because when you think about Western cultures, this strategy that they always use of hysteria, right? Fear, right? Because it's about control. God help me. If someone else is driving, let's say you have a destination you have to get to. If that destination requires, you know, some type of transportation, okay, so there's that in between. It requires some type of transportation device, right? So a vehicle, a car. if you are unable to drive the car yourself and somebody else is driving the car, there's so many probabilities of danger that could possibly occur. You get what I'm saying? Opposed to if you learn yourself how to drive yourself and get yourself to that destination, so being able to trust yourself, have, what I'm saying, be self-reliant, self-dependable, and really be able to work from your solar plexus, your power source. You get what I'm saying? That raises your chances of surviving the trip, okay, actually reaching the destination, opposed to someone else driving you, okay, where they could wreck the vehicle, listen, I've shared on here before how I had an experience where when I was in college, I knew that the roommate had a license, okay? I knew she was a licensed driver. I knew she had her own car. But, I didn't do my due diligence. I've never seen her vehicle before, like, with my own two eyes. I just knew, like, I seen her license. Like, I knew she was licensed, okay? Like, I would see her with her keys, leave in and out, whatever. I knew she had a car. I knew she, drive. So when they were wanting to buy a TV, and I had like a TV, several TVs at home, and I was like, y'all can just have my TV because I don't even watch TV like that. Y'all can have mine. So we'll just drive to my parents' house. We'll get the TV. It's a 6-hour drive. I'll drive the first 3 hours because I know the way and it's to my house and we're driving my car. I'll drive the first 3 hours, and to be fair, you drive the 3 hours back, okay? Because I live in Little Rock, South Carolina. She lived in Columbia, South Carolina. We went to school in Bluffton/Beaufort, Hilton Head Island area. So you have to, on your way back to Hilton Head, you have to pass Columbia. So everything seemed logical, checking the boxes. But I still missed that very important detail, and I'll tell you what the detail is. On our way back, she wrecks my car. And when she wrecked my car, it wasn't her side that got hit. It was my side that got hit. So she failed to yield to oncoming traffic. So as she was making the turn, an oncoming car hit me on the passenger side. Obviously I'm okay because I'm protected. But y'all see where I'm going with this. So now, by the time I finally got to see her actual car, so boom, she got a dent in her car. You feel me? Like, these are things that if I had really done my due diligence, like, I would have definitely moved differently, like with how I, organized that plan. So she got this dent in her car, and it looked, she got a dent in her car. There was another thing about her car was that she apparently had all these towels stacked up in the passenger seat. And I remember when I rode in her car, like, for whatever reason, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just ride in the back seat. When I rode in the back seat, I kept smelling something. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is that? So I noticed the towels stacked up, or it was like towels and blankets, like just stacked up or whatever. And see, I have leather seats in this car. I think all my cars had leather seats, but she had like cloth fabric seats. So she told me this story about how one of her best friends during COVID, y'all know how there was a lot of public places where their restrooms were locked. Okay, they didn't let everybody use their restroom. So I guess they was out, drinking, whatever. The girl had to take a shit, and they couldn't make it to I know this sounds so stupid because it is stupid. Apparently, everywhere they went, they couldn't find a place where they would allow people to use the restrooms. And so the girl shitted on herself in her car in the passenger seat. And I'm like, so how does that explain like the blankets and everything? And she said not only did she shit in her car, but she didn't clean up. She didn't clean up her own shit. So I'm like, okay, how long ago was this? So it was some time ago, months ago. So now I'm like, all right, so your car smell weird. Smell like shit. 2, you pile blankets and stuff over the little shitty stain in your passenger seat instead of cleaning it. 3, you're calling this girl your best friend, but she shat in your car and didn't even clean up after herself. 4, you didn't even consider cleaning the shit out of your own car. 5, you're content and just decided to become immune with just driving around in this car full of doo-doo, like with doo-doo in the passenger seat. 6, you're one of those girls that's always on dating apps and, you know, always looking for a quick hookup, you know, attention seeking, you know, always on Tinder, you know, always trying to fuck off and stuff. And with that, it's not you just meeting up with dudes or having dudes come and pick you up. You're going to the dudes or picking them up in your whip, having them sit in the passenger seat on top of these blankets with doo-doo, and you're not telling nobody. 7, anybody. You're having anybody in your car. Anybody in general. And you're not disclosing why these blankets and towels are right here in the passenger seat. And unless somebody inquires, me being that person to inquire. Like, because what? Learn my lesson. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be in this car anymore. Because the thing is, we already took off, you feel me? And I'm just like, I keep smelling something. Like, is that outside? Where's that coming from? And boom, like, there's the information. So I'm like, okay, noted. I will never, ever get in this fucking car again. So I said that to say, like, being in that car, even though it was for a short amount of time, because somebody chose to omit truth in a situation, it's almost like I was imprisoned, you know, in a situation that I typically would not be in if the truth was spoken. So the reason why being that honest person, no matter what, or being a truth speaker and a truth seeker, is such a gift within itself, is the perks that come with it. So again, if you are telling the truth in a situation, and people have gathered others, you know, to combat your truth with a lie, okay? It doesn't matter how convincing it may be. It doesn't matter how drawn out people being receptive to what the truth actually is or investigating the truth. It's inevitable for there to be some type of tower moment when it comes to prolonging that investigation or that discovery of what the truth is. So you may have to experience quote unquote imprisonment, you know, projected by others, but in actuality you're not really imprisoned. So let's go back to the car situation with, you know, with this girl wrecking my car, for example. So now it's looking like, damn, I let this girl drive my car, she wrecked my car. It seems like my car is fixable because I was able to drive it back to our school, put my car in the shop, you know, my insurance and everything. And after they, you know, did the estimate or whatever, they decided to rule my car as total loss, right? So now it's like, damn, you know, now I'm at a deficit. Like, you know, took my car and, you know, wrecked my car. Like, and it's just me. I got to depend on myself, like to move around and stuff. I prefer to, you feel me? But here's the dub in that situation. The dub in the situation is that I ended up getting a better car, right? So that particular car was a Hyundai Elantra Limited. So I went from that to a Jeep. But I learned my lesson. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't allow her in my car. I didn't even tell them when I got the car, what the car was. That was nobody's business. Like, even when I got that Jeep, because I know how material, I know how vain most people are. I told my immediate family, like my mom, my dad, don't tell anybody that I have this Jeep. Don't tell anybody that I have this car. If they happen to see me driving in the car, then they just so happen to see me. But it's not really anything to announce. You get what I'm saying? I'm not like that. I'm not that. And, I'm somebody that's I'm very experienced when it comes to evil eye, and it governs a lot of the decisions that I make when it comes to how I utilize discretion in my life, and what I choose to reveal to people, because I know how hateful, how jealous, how envious people tend to be, okay, when it comes to materialism or clout, titles, upgrades, what people consider upgrades and stuff like that. Like, when I graduated college, I didn't announce it. I didn't announce, me graduating from school or college, because I didn't want fake support. Like, y'all, I'm wired so different. Like, I'm wired so different from a lot of the people, around me, my peers, relatives. And I noticed that about me. I know how different I am. I know how peculiar I am. And I'm very content with that, because this is what contributes to my security system, the security system that God has innately, embedded within myself, so I'm content with that. I know that on average, people want to use certain accomplishments and achievements to receive praise and, external validation and stuff like that. But I'm not that person, because I don't know what it is about me. I mean, I'm just blame it on God. But I'm like very keen when it comes to, I don't want no fake support. Like, if y'all wanted to mistreat me or treat me like I was less than because I didn't have a degree before, because I wasn't getting, certain kind of attention, I wasn't driving this car, I wasn't wearing this, I wasn't, I didn't have whatever, like, I be wanting people to keep that same energy. Like, I'm a stickler to wanting organic experiences or organic connections. Like, I'm very selective when it comes to whom I connect with, who I work with, all of that. And even throughout that, that's not to say that you won't compromise, because in that compromising, like, of course, someone like me, I still have myself at the forefront, even when I'm compromising with other people. Like, for example, when I got my license for massage therapy, my first job after getting that license was Massage Heights in Buckhead. And of course, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. So I'm thinking, like, okay, I need to run up a bag, like, real quick. Like, I worked there for just a few months, and I think I made a little over $15K working there. But that was like a quick access point for me to get quick money and yeah, for me to build up for myself. Because one thing about me, I have a healthy sense of pride and dignity. So I've been approached, especially here in Georgia and Atlanta, I've been approached by grown ass, old ass men, okay, on some sugar daddy shit. And y'all, let me tell you how they do it. They will you can tell it's so common out here because of how bold. Anytime people are very bold to approach you, you feel me, with something that's like kind of odd, awkward, it's because there are a lot of people who are doing that. Like, it's the culture. Like, it's established culture. I don't even want to call it culture, but it's established, because why else would they feel confident, with approaching a young woman on some sugar daddy shit? But the way that they will do it, I guess, to like kind of save themselves in a situation, these men, the men that have approached me, they will have like businesses, like their own business or something like that, and they will have business cards. And so if it doesn't, it's their business card is like their plan B if they realize you're not a sugar baby or you're not going to accept the bait. So being someone who never took the bait, yeah, that's how I learned that that's their tactic. Like, they'll hand you a business card, like, well, if you ever need da 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 or blah 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 blah, then this is my business, yada yada yada. I'm that person, I'm gonna go and donate some plasma. You get what I'm saying? To get some money. I'm gonna go and DoorDash. I'm gonna do Instacart. I'm gonna create something with my hands. I'm gonna make, I'm a hustle. You get what I'm saying? Like, to get some money. But I'm not gonna sell my pussy. I'm not doing that. I'm not about to do no sexual favors. I'm not about to play around or play with somebody daddy, their uncle, their granddaddy. I'm just not that person. To each their own, but I'm not that person. And I'm also aware that even though I'm not that person, I know a part of the spiritual warfare and attacks, that's been done on me has been to try and force me into that arena, to like kind of dirty my face card, dirty my self-esteem, my confidence, my ability to like really, have this confidence in showing myself and revealing myself to the world, and being able to, like, because it does affect your confidence and your self-esteem. Like, people can come up with all these narratives and come up with all these excuses, blah 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 blah, but if you would allow yourself to prostitute, you get what I'm saying, man. Look, now, if anybody has anything, I'm gonna be straight up with you, because that's me. If there is anybody out here that has any type of content on me, like, that's like explicit content, it's somebody that I used to date. It's somebody that I used to date on some long-term shit, where we made some sex videos because they wanted to film it so they can watch it later, or I've sent them provocative photos because that was my man. You get what I'm saying? But nobody is gonna find me anywhere, you get what I'm saying, like, or dig up a video, a scandalous video, again, unless there's just some type of scorned ex-lover, or somebody that I used to date. They're scorned and they want to seek revenge and do like revenge porn or something like that. That is the only way somebody would be able to have that type of content on me. I'm just gonna be real. Now, there was even a time where when I first went vegan, and I was very proud. I think I was, how old was I? Like, back in 2019. Yeah, it was like 2019, 2020. Yeah, I was very proud of, my body, like, the changes. Not somebody, not, not they projecting on my third eye. Ain't that crazy? Where'd you go? All right, well, this is what we're gonna do. Give me just a moment. What color we gonna? Okay, we're gonna do this color since people wanna do spiritual attacks. All right. Cool bees. Anyway, but there was a time where, you know, with me just being very proud and receiving like a lot of criticism, especially like from people who quote unquote supposed to care about me and stuff. Oh, I'm getting hot in here. There was a time like where I briefly did post like more revealing content, you know, just to show like my progress. Man, I had people that were supposed to be my friends say stuff like, oh, I ain't about to be eating like a rabbit and all this BS. But you know, you live and you learn. I want to say like on Snapchat and stuff. Yeah, you know, it was very brief for me, because for me, and why it was so short, temporal, it was almost like this rebellion against these lies about being vegan and, you know, what your body is capable of, the muscles that you can build, and the healthy fat, lean fat disposition and stuff like that. You know, that was more so like my aim with that. So yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, didn't really last long. You know, I made my point type shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. So yeah, I just feel like that's really the core of authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, being truthful doesn't mean you got to tell all your business. That's not what that means. Because some stuff is just not meant for everybody, and that's where discretion comes in as well. Like the wise application of discretion. Like, so for example, from experience, I know that understanding that people can do witchcraft, evil eye, people can download your photos, screenshot you on videos and stuff, put you on altars, okay, whatever. Because I'm aware of stuff like that, I'm not really that person that's gonna just run to the internet and, oh, this is my man, you feel me, like, this my new boo, this my man, you feel me? Like I'm very weird, like I'm very peculiar with stuff like that, because I'm just one of those people where I know people have targeted, like people intentionally try to pray against my blessings or pray against my happiness and stuff like that. So to each their own, but I can't move like that. I have to move a certain type of way. So I have to have a partner who understands that, like who understands the importance of privacy. Okay, not to say that, oh, we have to hide what we have forever, but I have to make sure we are on one accord, you know, before it gets to that point of publicity. Like, I have to make sure, you know, my partner has the understanding of what people can do, you know, what people are capable of, what people have done. Okay, when it comes to desperation, when it comes to envy and jealousy, and how far, you know, envy and jealousy can take people. Like, I need my partner to understand that, hey, I need you to be aware that there's a such thing as people ill wishing, on, you know, through photos, through videos, or through simple knowledge of knowing that we're dealing with each other, you know, we're dating and stuff like that. Like, this is why, you know, the last person I was dealing with, I told him, I said, hey, because I already peeked, you know, his circle and stuff like that. I said, if you have any questions about me, go to God about me. You know, he was supposedly prayerful. Okay, he was supposedly like, he can pray for a dream of clarity and God will give him a dream. And I believed him. I didn't feel like he was bullshit. I believed him, because that's one of the gifts that we shared, was us both having like the prophetic gift of dreaming. So the way he would explain it and stuff like that, I knew he wasn't bullshit, you know. But he did not honor my boundary when I said, yo, If you have any doubt or whatever, go to God about me. He ended up allowing certain peers and other people to drive the vehicle, when it comes to us, opposed to him driving the vehicle, me driving the vehicle, or God driving the vehicle. It's like, if there's anything about me that you want confirmation or clarity on, come and talk to me or pray about it. If there's anything I need clarity on, about you, I'm going to come and talk to you, or I'm going to talk to God about it. I'm going to go to my spirit team about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important for divine beings to have a partner who understands that, okay? Because I'm telling you, like, it can even be like people just lack the experience, people lack wisdom, people lack understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, and this is what people have to understand too. If I aligned with you and I found you qualifiable for me to date, okay, for me to open up to you in a vulnerable way, or share my sacred, parts of myself with you, why would you take advice about me from somebody else whom I did not align with, somebody whom I did not choose to engage with on that level? You get what I'm saying? We have to be very careful about that, because it's the reason why I didn't align with that person on some dating shit. So how can that person tell you anything about me? Like, come to me about me, or go to God about me, or go to somebody whom it's unbiased. Like, it's unbiased. Or be wise about how you ask questions. You don't have to give too much detail about me. Don't show them what I look like. Don't things that drive most human beings or humankind, into this space of under or undeveloped judgment. Okay? Because there's a lot of people. See, I'm also not that person that's going to jump on the bandwagon like I don't judge people, or I'm not judgmental, and I don't believe in that. That's bullshit to me. I just feel like that's that same old jumping on bandwagons without gathering proper understanding of what you're actually saying. Because people are so contradicting. Like, people contradict themselves. Like, you'll say that, oh, I'm not judgmental of other people, but that's honestly not true. Because how are you not judgmental of other people? But for example, when it comes to business and stuff like that, depending on what somebody has, what they've acquired for themselves, okay, how they conduct themselves with others and networking and stuff like that, you may use your discernment. You may judge these things about this person. Like, you know what? I think this is a good potential business partner. Or this person, shows a lot of potential to, contribute some type of success to what I'm creating, right? So that's being judgmental, okay? What people really mean by I'm not judgmental is they don't abuse or weaponize judgment, okay, to just unnecessarily harm another person. So let's be very clear instead of just jumping on bandwagons. That's why even in that video, when I was talking about the difference between the chariot, okay, being in the chariot in tarot, opposed to this bandwagon energy. When you think about a wagon, and I'm very familiar with the wagon because I'm from South Carolina. I'm a country girl. So my dad had like one of those little wheelbarrows. You know what I'm saying? I'm very familiar with it. So when I think about a bandwagon, I think of a wheelbarrow, okay? It ain't but so big, okay? A wheelbarrow, has to be pulled by somebody else, okay? And it can only contain but so much. So when you think about that phrase of jumping on bandwagons and y'all are not driving the shit, that's unwise. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wise about, that kind of decision. So now if you identify that, and now watch how I fuck this up too. If you identify that the person pulling a bandwagon is of God, or if you think they're of God, then take a step back and ask yourself, but why would God have them pulling a wheelbarrow or a wagon opposed to, the chariot, or something? I don't know, like, or a boat. Like, I don't know. But this is like figurative, metaphorically speaking. This is like higher knowledge language, understanding, like parable language, okay? So, we also have to be comfortable with not overly trying to modify ourselves outside of our authentic selves, especially when it comes to how we express ourselves, okay? Just to accommodate, people. Because here's the thing, it's not that it's hard, okay, for people to understand you. It's about if people are willing to understand you. Like, when somebody is willing to understand something, they're going to understand it. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to study. They're going to research, okay, to, gain that understanding, or they're going to ask, the right questions. You know what I'm saying? But for people who are intentionally, not trying to understand you, they don't want to hear you. They feel intimidated, envious of your level of intellect, you being deep, and, you being a critical thinker, whatever. Like, you just have to, see that for what it is and be at peace with who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is one thing to find a common ground with people, just to establish comfort, okay? Let them know that this is a safe space. That's really what a common ground is about. A common ground is not reducing yourself, okay? A common ground is not reducing yourself, okay, from this ascended or aspect of yourself that you've already quantumly or ascended to, okay? You don't descend to somebody else just because they're having difficulty understanding what you're expressing. That's not how it's supposed to be, okay? Because I'm telling you, there are people who will intentionally and strategically play that oblivion card with you, okay? Play you like you stupid, okay? Because for their own, to stroke their own egos, okay? To appease their own, low self-esteem, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. Just tell the truth and be at peace with that, okay? If the truth imprisons another person in their mind, if the truth imprisons, somebody else in conviction or internal conflict, okay, or group conflict, okay, that has nothing to do with you. I guarantee you will still be free in that situation. Even if they team up together and tell a lie about you, okay, try to smear your name, your reputation, okay, do the smear campaign, whatever they got to do, okay. It's really sad that so many people have succumbed to group bullying and stuff like that, because I really wish somebody gave them the understanding that of how powerful they are. You know what I'm saying? For people to have to team up in numbers, to come against them. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's one of the oldest tricks of time. You know what I'm saying? And this is why chosen ones have to encounter these people who have a pathology of a history of weaponizing these type of carnal weapons with other people, where they think they've seemingly gotten away with the lie. They seemingly gotten away with that deception, of harvesting energy and getting over on people on that, because you never get away with deception. Like, you never really truly get away with it, okay? It always takes people encountering that divine being, that person that God has sent, for them to, first of all, a lot of times how it goes is that these people see your light. They recognize your light. They recognize that there's something different, peculiar, set apart about you. Even in the way that you talk, the things that you talk about, how you carry yourself, whatever, right? They recognize it. They see it. And let me tell you how I know they see it. Because the people whom they've successfully overpowered, okay, with these carnal weapons, it's because there's something about that person that they've seen. You know, they've seen that person's light, or something about that person that they wanted for themselves, okay, that they were triggered by, that they wanted to steal or destroy or kill, okay. And then what do they typically try to do? They try to embody it for themselves. It's almost like this concept of people murdering animals, and then, you know, skinning the animal to create a coat. You get what I'm saying? Or some type of fine, you know, furniture, or, you know, something to hang on their wall, you know, or a rug. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally what it is. Like, they see the beauty of what a person is, and then they want to steal, kill, and destroy it for themselves, because these people are backwards. When you think about devil, the word devil, you know, backwards is lived, right? Devil, lived. These people are backwards thinking, so they're backwards operating. But here's the thing about backwards thinking: this doesn't give them this everything that you can think that is the opposite of something that is positive. This is the reality of these people who operate in a backwards fashion. So, for example, if somebody is operating from a backwards fashion, that means that that person is at a disadvantage. And the person who is forward moving, you know, forward thinking, the truth speaker, the truth seeker, okay, that, you know, that puts you in that arena of ascension, okay, that puts you in the arena of advantage. You get what I'm saying? That puts you in the arena of upgrade, naturally, by design. Whereas the backwards thinker, okay, the liar, you know, the Decepticon, that puts them in alignment with disadvantages, downgrades, dissension, failure. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's real simple, like spiritual mathematics. Okay? I mean, it's unfortunate that, you know, it's unfortunate that we gotta, you know, bind these devils, but they really bind themselves. So, it's not a matter of, you know, pretending to be cold-hearted and feeling like you macho and you this and that because you're a bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all have to understand, these people are delusional, bro. These people are delusional, okay? They're lost. They're hurt, okay? Some of them done sold themselves out, you know. That's just what it is. Like, it may appear like they have some type of strength or advantage, you know, when they quote unquote have all these people to help them. Oh my God, bro. God is the Alpha and Omega. I love how words were so strategically used and placed, like predestined. Something is predestined, like prehistoric, predestined, like before. I love it. Like, I love it, man. I'm telling you, people pray. People are so impulsive to pray for finances and pray to, you know, live a life as someone else, you know, reap the reward of the attention, the treatment of other people, you know, and they don't slow down. They don't take a few steps back and, you know, 12. They don't look deeper into what this is, like, and be like, you know, God created me a clean heart, you know. God, you know, I pray for understanding, of others and understanding of myself, so that I can make proper decisions. I can judge righteously. God, I pray for wisdom, and with the knowledge, I also pray for right and sound knowledge, and with that right and sound knowledge, I also pray for wisdom and understanding so that I execute and apply, what I've learned, the knowledge that I've gained, righteously, and, that's so that it's in alignment, you know, I'm so grateful. We should all, there's so much that we should truly be grateful for when it comes to the way life and, the world is orchestrated from being in alignment with God. And what I mean by that is we're surrounded by teaching moments. When you think about, it doesn't matter what your avenue is for yourself and your purpose. If you're a music person, if you're an art person, any form of art, if you are, business and finances, medical, health, wellness, beauty, it doesn't matter, whatever, chemistry, biology, shit, marine science, it doesn't matter what it is, y'all. I'm telling you, we are surrounded by teaching moments. And I'm not just talking about what's in the books. I'm talking about the people around you. The people around you and the decisions that they make. For example, why is it that we constantly see this repetitive pattern in the music industry of people selling their souls, okay, sacrificing their loved ones for a level up? You get what I'm saying? Sacrificing their booty holes. You get what I'm saying? Like, even sacrificing their dignity, sacrificing their appearance, their identity. Like, with all these plastic surgeries and stuff like that, like, one thing about being musically inclined, poetically inclined, artistically inclined, it is a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility because one of the greatest ways to influence humankind, energy overall, is through, the arts, is through sound, music, words, the key elements of magic, the key elements of, the foundational units of creation, okay, which is sound, visual, sense oriented, things you can feel, things you can hear, smell, all of that, right? It's a huge responsibility, okay, if you are gifted in any of these kinds of expressions of the soul. Because, man, I'm telling you, like, you don't want to collect blood on your hands. That's what you don't want to do, okay? So if you know that you're a great cook, you better learn. You better study to show thyself approved unto God. You better learn about what you are cooking, what you are feeding people, okay? Because you don't want to be responsible for people, getting heart disease. You don't want to, you don't want to contribute to that. And, a lot of people would try to bypass stuff like, well, it's their free will if they want to eat, if they want to eat this pork. It's their free will. And yes, absolutely, their free will is also a thing. And they will, be held accountable accordingly. However, that does not render you free from that, okay? Because God told us all to study to show ourselves approved, okay, unto God. Not unto the FDA, unto God, okay? Yeah, if you're a dope artist and you got the melodics, you got that the cadence, like you're very skilled. You better study words. You better study the effects and the impact. You better study music like on a deeper scale, okay? Because that is spell work, that is spell binding. You know how The nature of how we are. You don't, you could like not have heard a particular song in years, months, weeks, and that song will pop up in your head. And it's just repetitively playing in your head. You ain't listened to this song in so long, but it's just, it pop up in your head. That is a form of spell work, okay? Whether the spell work is of a positive nature, like it has some type of positive affirmative action or affirmations to it, or whether it is produces or creates disorientation, like something, there's another word I'm looking for. It can just be unnecessarily destructive, like to that person's behavior, okay, to their thought processes, how they view and perceive the world, how they view and perceive others, okay, how they treat others and how they treat themselves. There's a lot of influence, okay? And even talking about the word influence, like when you think about influenza, like how they associate that with illness and dis-ease, okay? Influence can create illness or health and wellness within a person. So you have to be responsible with the influence that you have, whatever degree or level that influence may be. We're going to be held accountable. That's just the ordinance of things. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, I don't care if that producer is, oh, you the shit, you know, I need you to make more music like this, and talk about slutting these hoes out and popping all these pills, and you know, popping pills and then drink, you know, popping these bottles, and I don't care how catchy it is. Like, I don't care how much money you are getting from that they're offering you. You supposed to study to show yourself approved unto God. You're still going to be held accountable for the influence that you produce and create, and the impact and the effect that it has on others. Because it's like this trickle effect. Like, it's like this domino effect. Okay? Hence, creating or basically having blood on your hands, whether that's first degree, second degree, third degree, you're going to be held accountable. You're going to be held accountable. That's just that. Like, it is deep. It is deep like that. It's deep and simple all at the same time. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. God told us how powerful we are. And it's so crazy that so many people fall for the deception of thinking that being demonically influential is more powerful than being divinely influential, because it's not. It's not. And that's why they're unable to successfully get away with the things that they've done to other people, to chosen ones. Because we come to create balance. We come to uphold God's law in a situation. Okay? That's why, like, in the world, quote unquote, yeah, you can go to school and become a judge and get in the courts and be a judge. You can do that. But I guarantee you, if you're abusing your title, if you're abusing your position, and don't let somebody have to go to court who's a spiritual judge appointed and ordained by God. They may not be a judge in this world, but don't let that person be an appointed judge in the ethers. Don't let them come up in there, and then if that person is speaking the truth in a situation and then you mishandle that judgment, okay, you mistreat that person or you judge wrongfully, you're going to be held accountable. You might be sitting in the courts for that day, for that week, and then next week you in a casket. The following week you in the hospital. The following week, you got all type of misfortunes and shit unfolding in your life because you didn't uphold God's law. And not only that, now because you touched God's anointed, you did a prophet harm. You know how they like to, based on offenses in this world, like how they do it? Oh, you know, this is a serial murderer. This is a serial, you know, whatever. So you gonna get life in prison. You know, you gonna get this type of sentence. Like, it's the reason why sentencing is different, you know, depending on offenses. That's how it is in the spirit realm. And you don't get to bypass that because of certain titles and positions that you have in the world. So you can be law enforcement, you can be a judge, okay, sworn in. You can be a doctor, medical doctor. You can be a holistic practitioner. If you are operating in any manner of evil or doing something unrighteously, you will be held accountable by the Most High God. You will be held accountable. The scales will be balanced. That's spiritual law. And nobody gets to bypass that. Nobody. No one. I'm going back to yesterday. I briefly spoke about positive and negative reinforcement. So you know how it's in our nature to love, like, desire, appreciate, praise, okay, worship, attention, okay, care, support, all of that. That's by design, you know, that's natural. Now, where people start to fuck shit up at, blurring the lines, is how or what they're willing to do to seek and gain that attention. You know, how they're willing to exploit others or, you know, gain or seek that attention at someone else's expense or at an innocent person's expense. You know what I'm saying? That's where, you know, okay, now things are getting a little topsy-turvy. Be careful. Tread lightly. You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, people don't tread lightly. For example, you know, there are some quote-unquote philosophical, or what's the other word? Theological scholars who would, or people who are atheists or whatever, who will try to say that or paint God as this egotistical maniac. You get what I'm saying? Like, what's up with this having to praise and worship God? Like, why does God require praise and worship and stuff like that, right? But naturally, when people start talking about love languages, oh, what's your love language? Like, different kinds of love languages and positive affirmations and praise and worship. Like, even the science of plants and water, if you speak positive affirmations to water and plants, you know, just being loving, you know, being appreciative, you know, expressing gratitude, you know what I'm saying? In essence, that is praise and worship when you think about it. And do we not scientifically, spiritually see the results of that? It's about the vibration that it carries. It's about the frequency as well. It's not that God is just egotistical and that's why, you know, God wants us to praise and worship. Listen, if you are really connected with God, you will understand why it's not even it's not forced. Praise and worship, gratitude, you know, support, and the gaining thereof should not be forceful. It's something that happens naturally because there's something that you are providing. There's something that you are giving, presenting, that just naturally, you know what I'm saying? That's a natural, innate response. For example, I have a cat. His name is T'Challa. So with pets, like the dynamic between pets and you know, their moms, their dads, you know, their adopted moms and dads, you know, us, you know, whoever care that they're in. If you feed, you know, that animal, if you tend to that animal, give proper care and attention to that animal, you know, make them feel safe, you know, make them feel secure, you're feeding them, like, you know, you're loving on them, you know, naturally when you are away, they naturally miss you. When you come back, they praise your return. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're happy. Like, it's a natural response, right? um for those of you who really are connected, like you really are one with God, you know, and you witness the wonders of God, you know, the blessings of God, and how God like shows up for you faithfully, right? Man, like it's a natural response. Like when you get into those moments of praise and worship, it's natural. It's not something that you fake. Yes, there's people fake it because there's something that they're trying to gain. Like when people, there's a such thing of people faking praise and worship because of the attention. It's almost like, you know how there's a praise and worship that other people praise and worship, okay? And then you have those people whom they are external, they're surface. They want the praise and worship that you gain from you praising and worshiping God. And so they will mimic, you know, they'll fake like they praising the Lord, and you know, fake like they speaking in tongues and other languages, you know. They'll fake it because they want the praise that comes with that acknowledgement that this person, you know, has been touched by God. This person, you know, has experienced God, or God dwells within that person, right? If you've grown up in church and stuff like that, you guys are familiar with that. Hell, even when some of us were kids, you know, that mocking energy, like just because that, you know, I know when we was younger and we would see like our, you know, adults and stuff, they'll shout and get, you know, I get caught up and stuff like that. Sometimes it would be comical, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's strange, like it's peculiar, you know. But you know, that's normally when you a child. And so yeah. Look, I think when I was on the way back to the house, because I was, you know, just in, you're supposed to always be like meditative when you think about it, but I was just in this space like of just gratitude, which I typically am. And sometimes though, I get this surge, okay, when, you know, of gratitude towards God. And it's not just me, like it's me, it's my ancestry, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all of us, and I'm containing all this energy, this victory, this joy, like this appreciation, like this love. Like I have so much love for God. Like it's a natural response. Like, so sometimes I may get emotional, sometimes I may cry, you know, sometimes I may, you know, channel, you know, other ancestors through myself and speaking other languages of worship, you know, speaking my native tongue of worship, of praise and worship, okay? Because that's really what tongues is, you know. So I may speak in my native tongue, you know, whether it's from this lifetime, other lifetimes, you know, or ancestors that spread across the globe, whatever, you know. But there are people who fake spirituality, who fake their connection with God, and they truly know nothing about what it's really like to have God dwell in your temple, okay? What it's really like to be immersed in God, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because they are those outsiders who are witnessing a person who is one with God in that spirit of gratitude, and you know, and all of that. And how people who witness that person in that spirit of gratitude, or praise and worship towards God, or holding God's name up. You get what I'm saying? The attention that that person gains from that, they crave that more. So they're willing to pretend to get that. But they don't realize that that backwards ass energy, like I spoke about earlier, they are already at a disadvantage. So when people try to copy you, when people try to destiny swap, it's like, I can't say it's impossible, because unfortunately some of our, some people have succumbed, some people have submitted and given up their power to these people, right? They've given these people authority to conquer them, right? When God told us we're more than conquerors, right? Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Serial group harassment and stuff like that. It's very unfortunate that they've succumbed to that, and especially children, the youth. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock. It's sad when the youth succumb to being bullied and stuff like that, because what that lets us know is that whoever is the guardian, and I know this is a sensitive topic, whoever is the guardian of that youth, they have not armed that child appropriately, okay, to defend themselves, okay, to stand against the wiles of devils. They have not properly educated, properly guided, or informed that child, okay, like, of how to execute or fight back with spiritual weapons. I mean, it's harsh truth. Like, a lot of people don't like harsh truths, but I mean, it's just, the truth is what set people free. That's how we stop the pattern. That's how we create shifts. That's how we transmute. This is how you alchemize. This is how you turn coal into gold. This is how. And yes, there's going to be pressure. Yes, like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But how else are we supposed to, influence the kind of change that's going to inevitably manifest? Okay, change is constant. So that change can either be for the worse or for the better, but our influence, how we respond, how we interact, with these, it's almost like I'm in a spiritual lab. How we interact with these elements, you get what I'm saying? How we execute these elements plays a huge role in the quality or the lack thereof of the changes that are manifesting. You get what I'm saying? It's not enough to just be neutral in some cases. It's not enough to just be a bystander. It's not enough to just sit your child like in front of a TV, in front of a screen, you know what I'm saying, and give control over to all of these other, handlers. It's not enough, bro. Like, we have to be interactive, proactive, present, available, interested, engaged. You know what I'm saying? Engagement, when you think about people getting engaged, like engaged for marriage, okay, or engaging in a conversation, engaging in a topic, we should be engaging, okay, going inside and engaging, you know what I'm saying? Like how gauging is also used as like an opener, or like analyzing something, processing something, discernment. Like, we're supposed to get inside, you know what I'm saying, and sort through things, right? Okay, if there's some confusion that's present, some distortion that's present, some fear, worry, anxiety that's present, we're supposed to, get inside of that and have honest conversations. Arm somebody. Arm your child with the sword of truth. Arm them with strength. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't just put them out there or send them out there into this world and they don't know how to properly, like, defend themselves. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. And I'm about to get emotional for the children. I'm about to get emotional, bro. And that's the thing. Like, if you are a true divine being, you know, it's not enough for people to just, it's not enough for us to say that we all have masculine and feminine energy, right? The difference between a divine feminine, like having divine feminine, divine masculine energy, is that whether you have biological children or not, you're going to naturally be maternal. You're going to naturally be paternal. You're going to naturally care, you know? You're going to naturally be attentive. You're going to naturally have empathy, okay, towards a misguided, like, child or youth, or a child that's not properly armed. You get what I'm saying? In this world. We cannot play oblivious or make excuses for the normalcy that has become when it comes to trafficking, when it comes to child abuse, sexual assault. Just because it happens so often, we are not supposed to become desensitized to that. And we have to recognize the conditioning of the desensitization. Like, that's intentionally weaponized, okay? Oh my God, bro. No, it's not okay. It's not okay to be openly provocative or quote unquote, like, completely unhinged in your language in the presence of a child. That's not okay. Okay? It's not okay to, you know, just to be inappropriate in the presence of a child. It's not okay. Especially if you're not going to, you know, properly educate, okay, that child. In the world that we're in, that are intentionally targeting the children or are targeting us from young ages, like, especially if you are a chosen one, if you're a divine being, you know that the warfare starts when you're a child. It starts in your youth, okay? I remember, like, I'm that person that if I go to a Walmart, like, there may be so many different kind of advertisements, all type of stuff all around trying to get our attention, right? You know how Walmart has that section of missing children? I'm that person. I always stop at that for the most part. For the most part, I stop at it and I look at every single poster. I analyze every single poster before I leave. I remember being at the gas station the other day, and it's crazy. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all about this connect. So I remember being at this gas station in this area I used to live at, and I used to always go to that gas station because not only was it reasonable and they were up to par, but the owners of the gas station, like, we kind of just had the connection. And like, they were Indian, like, of the actual, like, from India, those Indians, not the Indians here. But I remember my bendies would always spark conversations between us, and, you know, like, we, you know, kind of created a bond. And one of the owners, she had brought me a whole thing of bendies, not this size, but little tiny bendies, like, yeah. But anyway, I was there the other day getting gas, and I'm that person. Y'all know how this is a thing now, where when you go to a gas station, they have like the little screen, and they'll bombard you with the next somebody's song or music release, an artist or advertisements, you know, whatever. I intentionally tune the shit out, because I don't like when I don't like the idea of trying to bombard me with shit that I didn't ask for. Like, I didn't ask for it. Like, why are you bombarding me with this ad, these ads, with your, I didn't ask for that. I just want to get gas. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. So I would intentionally tune it out, not look at it on purpose, you know, walk away a little bit, sit in the car, you feel me, on purpose. Because I don't like that. I don't like that forceful, trying to force shit into my subconscious. I don't fuck with that. But this particular one was about a missing child. And so, of course, it, you know, it grasped my attention. And, you know, not even like only the missing child, but the company. Because I have a friend that I've lost touch with here in Georgia. And through communicating with my spirit team and through my cards and stuff, I haven't been getting good news about, you know, me losing touch with her. And I've been kind of just, I've done my own investigation, like, of trying to find her. And for whatever reason, it's so difficult to find. They've made it so difficult to find, like, present, current, active websites, you know, that are up to date when it comes to missing children. And so I, you know, wanted to get that resource of these people, you know, who are posting like these missing children, like, you know, whatever. So it's things like that we should be being attentive to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and utilizing our attention to detail for, okay, when it comes, like, I know you got somewhere to go, you feel me? I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you tune yourself and align yourself with God, it'll be more natural for you to tune out the filler shit of this world, like fillers, F-I-L-E, like bullshit, you feel me? It'll be easier to tune out the bullshit and hone in on what matters, like what's essential. You know what I'm saying? And then you can also vibrate at that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like, personally, I'm somebody, I have to do work that's essential, that's necessary. You feel me? Like, that's useful. I can't really be in any field that's meaningless. I mean meaningless. I can't do meaningless. I can't really be a part of, like, useless ways of doing things, like jobs, anything. I just can't. You feel me? Not to say that I haven't done it, like, when I was younger and stuff, but yeah, nah, clearly, I mean, that's why I'm not there now. You feel me? But yeah, and then, like, when I got, you know, of age, and even when I would have, like, people or, like, family or whatever try to fearmonger me, like, about working certain jobs and stuff, like, it's still a job. It's still a job. Okay, well, no, it's not just a job to me. Like, it's where I'm investing my time and energy. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just very intentional. Like, when I say I'm rebellious to bullshit, even if it goes against, even if to most people it's not bullshit, oh well, you feel me? Like, that's your life, this is my life. You do what you do with your life and yourself, I'm gonna do what I do with my life and myself. And I'm gonna make sure it's in alignment with, I'm gonna make sure God approves it. So yeah, you may be my mama, you may be my grandma, you may be my you may be my sibling, you may be my teacher, you may be. But there's gonna always be a strong butt glute for me. And it's gonna be, I'm gonna check. I'm talking to God about it. I'm talking to God about it. Let me get back with you on that. You feel me? Or I don't want to do that. So why would I push myself to do that? I don't want to. it's clearly out of alignment. You know, I don't have a desire to work at Burger King. I don't have a desire to, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's not to say that we don't have moments where when you just hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a goal in mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna work at this warehouse, you feel me? Because, you know, ideally, I ain't really got to fuck with people directly. You know, I can go in there, you know, make a healthy little piece of coin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I'm gonna finagle this for a little minute until I, you know, get some better shit, until my license come through. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna always be doing something, you feel me, that's contributing to coexisting with God, you know, actually creating some balance, some justice. You got some restoration, some alchemy, some transmutation. Okay? Utilizing magic in a high vibration. Okay? Not just to bully people around. Okay? Like a lot of our quote unquote volunteered enemies. And this is what keeps us undefeatable by these demons. Because technically, if you really think about it, you're already undefeatable if you team up with God. I mean, it's really that simple. Why not? I don't care who submit to satanic energy or devilish. I don't care who submit to evil, who's operating or being guided or led by evil spirits, and how big and scary they portray themselves to be. Why not team up with the creator of all things against them? Against any demon, devil, group of that coven, blah, 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 blah. Why not team up with the creator of life above anybody else? Why not be okay with that friend switching up? Why not be okay with your family switching up, trying to take you out for money, for insurance? Why not be okay with detaching and departing from evil, however it manifests, any environment, a job, okay? Turning down a paycheck, turning down, why not be okay with that? When you could just team up with the creator of all, the Alpha and Omega. Why not be okay with it? Okay, if it hurts your feelings and you gotta cry, you feel me? Like, your feelings hurt, you'll get over it. Okay, let your feelings be hurt, but stay with God. If you want to call that person, if you want to text that person, if you want to try a little more, you want to try again, you want to give them the opportunity to tell the truth, you want to get them the opportunity to do right by you, do that. But eventually, you're going to have to depart. If that person is choosing to be evil to you, you're going to have to eventually depart. And you better depart from them or any expression of evil, that job, whatever. If they're trying to give you a hard time at work, they're trying to dominate your energy because they secretly envious and jealous and secretly competing, trying to sabotage you. You can try. You can muster through the storm. You can do all that. But eventually, if they're trying to keep up the evil, you're going to have to depart from them. And you better depart from them before you depart from yourself. You better depart from them before you depart from God. I'll tell you that. Because that's their end goal. They want the end goal of any evil or any vessel that's compromised by evil spirit or spirits is to get you to depart from God. Get you to depart from your divinity. That's the end goal. That's the end goal. Like, hello, I've been here to communicate this. Like, yeah. So that's why for, those karmic, those, demonically possessed energies that want to still be popping up on my platforms and trying to see what's going on and trying to jump on my content, jump on my videos and project and try to harvest and astral travel in a dream state and da da da. They're going to keep coming around. They're going to keep trying. They're going to keep fucking around and finding out. Yep. They're going to keep fucking around and finding out. And you want to know another secret? Because this is straight high priestess talk. Let me tell you. Welcome to the temple, okay? You want to know another secret? Now, if you know you told the truth in a situation, you showed up truthfully, Okay, you had good intentions, and what you did, what you said, how you move with anybody, anything, any place. Okay, and there's some type of uproar. Okay, there's some type of big challenge, a planned attack or a series of attacks and whatever. You know why? That's because you did something you were supposed to do. Yep. What did I say? What? Welcome to the temple. Yeah, that should be your indicator that, oh, I did my motherfucking job. I did that shit well too. Cause they doing all that. Oh, I did the damn thing. Look, that's the energy. I done did the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the quote unquote secret. You feel me? That's not really secret, but it's not really secret. You know what I'm saying? They want you to deny your gifts. They want you to deny God. They want you to deny the truth. They want you, oh my God, it's the same old tired as carnal weapons. Look, message. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be lying if I say that I hate to burst your dirty bubble, because no, bitch, I'm here to intentionally burst that dirty bubble that's polluting the environment. Now, or like that bubble trying to come over here and pollute something that's like, it's good over here. Like, don't bring that dirty bubble over here. Oh hell no! I gotta put a depth to this. Okay, and where's the disinfectant? Let's make sure we spray the area. Okay, after we burst these demonic ass beings, after we burst their dirty bubbles, let's make sure we disinfect. Okay. Yeah, let's get away from there. It's dirty over there. Oh my God, bro. This is funny. This is so funny. I'm sitting here with these index cards. I ain't even used not one index cards. I just went to the tarot. If y'all see, like, my shirt is stained, it's because I was drinking some turmeric tea. Some turmeric Thai tea. Shout out to my brother, okay? My fellow Taurian, okay? The tea man in Georgia, Tunde's Tea. If you in Georgia, check him out, bro. He creates some, like, his tea is so good, because I don't like Thai tea. I like his Thai tea. I like his. And if I make one, I will make it how he make it. For real. But, yeah. And it's vegan. It's, like, natural. It's good for you. Okay? It's medicinal. But it's so freaking good, bro. Oh, my God. It's so good. Yeah. I had spilled it on my shirt. I got this nice mug from one of my clients. He gave me a nice old mug. Thank you. Needed that. Anyway. We got a Wheel of Fortune here. Y'all wanna know what I'm getting from this? And look what's behind. I told you, get your ass out the way, bitch. Oh my God, bro. Y'all, this is about to be so funny. I love the examples that God has given us, like, even through Satan. All these teaching moments that surround us. So, in the world, how we have cars and vehicles, and the bright lights on your car, and how your car, with the car lights, you can tell that a car is coming by the lights, especially at nighttime in the dark. You see that chariot right there? say, when y'all stick with the divine, I'm telling you, when you stick with the divine, when you stand on the truth, stand for the truth, I guarantee you, bro, these people operating out this devilish energy, they really be like a deer caught in the headlights. Okay? I'm telling you. It's not cool to be blind. It's not cool to be blind and following the blind. Like, ain't nothing cute or cool about that. Ain't nothing cute or cool about that. Okay, so I don't care what they make it look like. I don't care how much temptation is involved. I'm telling you, they are not at the advantage. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. So just because they convinced others to believe the illusion, you don't believe it, especially when you got the gifts to see. Why would you shit on yourself? You feel me? And you can't say, you have to save yourself. We're here to influence. We're here to share truth, to share our light, share guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be the star. Like, be yourself. Okay? There's a lot, when you're a divine being, there's a lot that you can do simply from just your presence alone. And that's why you'll have people, they ain't got to know nothing about you. Like, that's why look, Queen of Cups, we'll be in a connection. Not the Queen of Cups here twice, bro, when I part the deck twice. Look, then you got the Ace of Swords. Where's she at? Oh my God. That is so crazy. That's why we can be in these connections. Look at that. Look. Love somebody through and through. Give them the best love they've ever experienced, ever encountered. This person is changing for the better. Okay, this person has all this vitality. We've helped, we contributed to restoring their courage, their ambition, their drive, their, increased or confirmed their faith in God. You get what I'm saying? Their faith in good people, good, love that's healthy, purity, encourage them to appreciate retaining the purity of their hearts. All the positive influence and impact that we're supposed to have on others, right? This is why, even if that person expresses this to some people who are spiritually compromised by demonic spirits, if these people even get one look of you, they just see you and don't let you be beautiful, don't let you be pleasing to the eye, these people will disregard every good thing, all the positive influence you have on that person, just because they are intimidated, they're triggered, they're jealous, they're envious because of how good you look, how pleasing to the eye that you are, and because they're so surface, they're so vain. They're so vain. They are so attention seeking in all the wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? Now they made you a target. They made you a target. Okay? Demonize you, try to ruin your reputation, all the things, all the shit that we talk about all the time. Like, this shit is so played out. Now, how we go from the 10 of Cups to the 5 of Wands? Bruh. I gotta put this phone down. I'm just trying to give y'all a better angle, but my phone on the charger. How long we been going? Okay, I gotta be mindful of time. I'm not trying to be here for 2 hours. But this is why, even if they encourage someone to omit telling you a truth that, could have brought you more peace in the situation, more clarity, okay? Because even those of us who have discernment, we're seers, okay, we're dreamers, we God, we're in alignment with God, where we're in a place where we can hear God. We can receive truth. We can receive etherical and spiritual communication from our ancestors and spirit guides, right? Even with all of that we gain, the way that our love expresses itself and the respect that we have for others, we don't abuse our gifts. So with that, not abusing your gifts, it's like you want to respect people enough to give them the opportunity to reveal the truth for themselves, to just tell you the truth, okay? save their, save their reputation with you in your life, right? And also because you know the honor, the love, the respect, the consideration that you give towards others, you deserve it back. And so in a way, we kind of demand that energy back. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, by design. So, but these people who are being, who are operating, from demonic energy, so to speak, whether this be like peers, their toxic family members, or whatever, just toxic people, that they give control over their vehicle to. You know what I'm saying? Or allow them to influence their decisions and all of this shit. When these people see, like, when it's fresh, right? And these people see, like, you reasonably disappointed, reasonably heartbroken because you've been betrayed and you didn't do anything to warrant the betrayal. Okay, so even though you guys have grown accustomed through experiences that, you've loved on people, you've been loyal to people who have still betrayed you, even though that is reality and you've lived through that reality, you still retain optimism. You give people a fair chance and a clean slate. Like, you don't try to carry over a past experience where somebody fumbled you and project that onto the next person where it's a totally different person, a new experience, right? You don't, take a piece of a person from the past who betray you and attach it to the present person. You don't do that. You just don't naturally operate like that. Okay. And so that's why the betrayal still has that shock value. When another person betrays you, it's not a matter of, oh, I done experienced this before and so I'm used to it, I'm used to this. No, because why should we get used to toxicity when we're not choosing to be toxic? No, we're not getting used to toxicity and expecting toxic outcomes. Of course we're not. We're still going to do our due diligence with that person, because what we do also understand is how, from past experiences, when people have betrayed us, in a lot of cases there are external figures outside of that person influencing them to betray us, but not only us, but to betray themselves and betray us, or betray themselves by getting them to betray us, which is also betraying themselves. I hope that makes sense. It'll make sense to who is meant to make sense to, like who it resonate with. Now that I do know. Okay. So it still has that shock value. It's still very heartbreaking. It's still very hurtful. It still makes you cry. Okay, like, you still have hope. You still have hope for the better, whether it's through that person and their redemption, them redeeming themselves with you and with God, with themselves, or whether it's just, that hope, that optimism that at the end of the day, I know that I've sown these seeds. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm going to reap loyalty. I know I'm going to reap, the love that I put out. I know I'm going to reap faithfulness. Okay. Mutual faithfulness, mutual fidelity, mutual, honor. I know that I'm going to reap it. Okay. Whether it's through this person that at the time, I hope they redeem themselves. I hope they do their due diligence. But if not, I also understand that I will naturally, innately align with other people who put out the energy that I put out. But it is the end goal of these external figures, these demonic spirits, okay, that's trying to basically rewrite the narrative, okay? It is their end goal for us to be consumed by the pain, be consumed by the hurt, be consumed by the betrayal, okay? Be consumed by they want us to be consumed by it. They want us to be possessed by it. They want us to become them. You get what I'm saying? Give up our soul, give up our essence, give up our nature. They want our soul to be up for grabs. You get what I'm saying? Because when you think about a person that's possessed, or they are in a place where they can be possessed, in a way their soul is up for grabs by demonic forces, right? Quote unquote destiny swapping. People trying to swap out souls, okay? Swap out destiny, swap out essence and stuff like that. That's what that is. That's what that is. So thank God. Thank God for God being God. Thank God for love. Thank God for the truth, right? Thank God for it. All praises due to the Most High, you know? Temperaments. I'm telling you, like, when you embody truth, when you embody love, self-love, okay? This is the energy. It's like you're pouring back into yourself, okay? You're in this frequency, this alignment where it's like this endless, like, rebalancing, this endless, like, God pouring into you, this overflow. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, even if it feels or it seems like the truth, if it seems like people in their lives are overshadowing your truth, this is what it looks like, okay, when you stand in that truth regardless. Now, like I said earlier, we already talked about the high priestess energy, how the high priestess knows the secrets. The high priestess knows what's going on. Like, she up on game, he up on game. But they may not always be impulsive or quick to reveal all that they know, okay, until an appointed time, right? There's always this seasonal energy, like with the truths that you have. Like, sometimes it'll show up like you have a natural resistance of, speaking on a certain thing, at that moment. Okay, that's almost like God bridling your tongue. You know what I'm saying? That's that high priestess energy. But the reason why you have the truth is for your peace of mind. Okay? The reason why you have that truth, whether you express it outwardly or externally or to another person yet or not, right? That's to put you at an advantage. $111 confirmation. Huh. Let's see. I'll pull a couple of index cards and then we're gonna close out. It says they have done this to others but failed to do this with you. Confirmation. Do I need to pull any more index cards? Somebody's names could start with a T. Somebody could have, somebody could be of, what is it called? The Chinese zodiac of the tiger. Oh, y'all remember Winnie the Pooh? Tell me why I just heard Tigger. Like, you guys could resonate, or maybe you really like Tigger, like in Winnie the Pooh. Like, y'all know he was very optimistic, and y'all know how Tigger was. Oh my God, that made me want to watch Winnie the Pooh just to watch Tigger. Bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. Yeah, I'm the only one. I'm the only one. You got so quick to defame the pretty girls that ain't have to do messy shit to be put on. Pretty inside and out. Yeah. So that's another thing they like to do too. Like I said earlier, when it's something about your appearance that's pleasant, like they be so quick to, lie on you, turn against you, try to defame your character, your reputation, like, because you don't have to be messy. You don't have to do messy shit to level up, to upgrade, to, reap the rewards, the divine rewards, or to gain positive attention. Okay? And I'm telling you, for a lot of the divine feminines, this at the very least, at the most basic level, this is what empower and encourage, some people to attack you because you're a pretty girl. So quick to defame the pretty girls that ain't have to do mess shit to be put on. They have done this to others but failed to do this with you. Oh, they thought defaming you and stuff like that, like, and teaming up with others to defame your character, like, that was gonna make you feel insecure and not want to show your face and hide away and feel ugly and what's wrong with me? What's wrong with what's wrong with me? Man, fuck out of here. Anyway, channeling negative thoughts that are not yours. Pay attention to that. Discernment. Okay. Why you so obsessed with me? These people be obsessed. They be obsessed. Look, now you got the roles reversed. Emotion and logic. This is giving Uno reverse. Somebody really thought, or this is how people will level up. People will level up by defaming somebody else who's the true star energy. They would gang up together, or they would create a lie or a narrative about you, that makes you seem like the opposite of what you are, and then try to embody that sweet nature that you have, so people can come to their defense and, give them the kind of treatment that you would naturally earn, because people know you're a sweetheart and you don't bother anybody. So people naturally have this innate feeling to want to protect you, you know what I'm saying, have your back, stand up for you, Somebody wanted to experience this. So in order to get this, or the way that they typically rise, okay, is by defaming somebody that they're envious of, that they're secretly obsessed with. This is even like a open and public obsession. It's just the false narratives that they created with that obsession. It bypasses people's logic, like people's like understanding. Like, man, look. People who lack wisdom, who lack discernment, people who don't take the time to properly investigate the truth, okay? People who would accept one-sided shit, you know what I'm saying? So you got rising star in reverse. So somebody's experiencing some type of decline, especially when it comes to their reputation, how they are viewed, how they are seen. They're experiencing a visible, like an obvious decline. So this is somebody who could have gained some type of clout or attention off defaming you, but now, man, look, that was short-lived. I don't care if it was months. I don't care, but it was short-lived compared to how you're being viewed, how you're being viewed overall in your life. It was short-lived for them. It says manipulated weaker-spirited loved ones to turn against you to hurt you. Confirmation. There's something significant about paperwork. Okay. Yep. False statements or something. False allegations. And look, Libra, the scales. It's divine law for the scales to be balanced. For balance to be restored in the situation. It don't matter how many people they gang up to stand on one side of the scale. How many people they threw on the other side of the scale or threw under the bus to make themselves appear like they're leveling up or they're above them, they're rising them up. This is somebody who has, listen, they've done this to others but failed to do this with you. This is how somebody was leveling up. They was, defaming people, throwing them under the bus and piling up one end of the scale, right? Piling up one end of the scale by quote unquote shitting on people at other people's expense so they can appear like the rising star. Until they encountered a you. Some of you guys can have significant Libra placements. Okay? Seventh house. The 7th house rules relationships, matrimony, partnerships, unity, other people, projection, public enemies, and lawsuits. That could be what that paperwork is about. Yeah, this is a crime. Is it a crime? Yeah, something was just a temporary pause. Look, I want your man or your woman. Don't nobody give a fuck about what you want. Shaking my head. Look, there's something significant about complaints. So this person making complaints about you, man, because they wanted your man or wanted your woman. Complaints. There could be complaints made, okay? You remember how this person is declining. So there's something about this, the truth about who this person is being exposed, okay? So other people could be making complaints or sharing complaints, okay, about this person, like common complaints. Yep. There's something significant about you being solo dolo. Yep, and having healthy habits. Look, you got attackers in the reverse. Attacker or attackers in the reverse. So they could be also experiencing some type of decline in their health. This could also be somebody who's now being isolated, but they don't know what to do with it. You get what I'm saying? They don't know how to, they don't know what to do with that. You get what I'm saying? You could be receiving unexpected income. Or something could be unexpectedly coming in, or somebody could be unexpectedly coming towards you. Or there's an unexpected income of attention or something. Unexpected income of a level up something, okay? Yeah. You got abused Mother Earth to harm an earth angel, okay? There could be something significant about medicine women, medicine men, witch doctors, okay? Spell work, utilizing herbs, utilizing elements, okay? Feminine essence, okay? Because Mother Earth, Earth energy is feminine. Okay, so abusing feminescence, abusing the feminine energy in general. So this could also be somebody weaponizing other people with emotions. Like this could be people. A card that kept coming out yesterday, and Spirit gave me some clarity, more clarity about it today. There's a card that kept coming out that was saying faking grief. This is somebody who painted you like the bully, painted you like the mean girl or the mean whatever. They painted you, okay, this is for a divine feminine, okay? They painted you like this monstrous being, like you attacked them, okay? Just so they can get sympathy, okay, from people or something like that, or be viewed as the sweet innocent one, okay? They abuse Mother Earth to harm, and you're a whole earth angel. Man, y'all gonna find out something. Look, let me tell you, see, let's not play oblivious to the fact that in life, death is also a thing too, okay? And there's many ways that people try to sow death in other people's lives. And unfortunately, sometimes the judgment call from on high is for people to lose their physical lives. It says they are no longer living. Some people lose their lives because of doing shit like this. From trying to create some type of death to a person that's of God, an earth angel. Some people lose their lives behind this shit. It may be a touchy topic. It may be a sensitive topic, but it's a whole damn fact. And if this is not, some people lose their lives. Some people lose some type of standard of living, like some type of comfort, like comfortable living or whatever. Okay? Oh my God. I didn't even see this. As I was saying, homeless. This is somebody who wanted you to be homeless, okay? Wanted you to lose your life or the lifestyle that you get to reap. They was intentionally targeting it, or they wanted it for themselves. 122, a life that you was building, a life that was predestined, a life that got. Oh man, look, bro, man, look. Somebody's name could start with a T. Whew. Let me adjust the volume of my voice. You have to excuse me. I'm an Aries Mars, and when I'm speaking about warfare, like like my voice is real strong. Okay. But thank God for being on the cusp, having that earth energy and that Cancer energy. Like, all right, let's ground it. Let's get back into balance. Libra rising, Libra North Node, Aries South Node. You got intentionally insulted you slowly over time to weaken your power, strength, confidence, intensity, and love. This is what they are. It's the same. This is what they do. This is what they do. Yep. Yep. But that I want your man or I want your woman. You got ex-lover in the reverse. Now, I'm getting this different ways. Like, somebody don't want to be in your past. I'm going to tell you that now. Somebody do not want to be in your past. If they manage to influence this person, by abusing empathy or weaponizing innocence and emotion and stuff like that, somebody do not want to be a part of your past. They do not want to be your ex-lover. They do not. They want to be a part of your present and your future. Okay? So that was unsuccessful. Or this could be a karmic ex-lover. This could also, I'm also picking up, this is somebody who wanted to be somebody's lover, and that was a no. Yep. They didn't make the part. They didn't get the role. Yeah. Access was denied is what it's giving. Because I'm going to tell y'all this too. Just because some third parties manage to create discord or separation or severance or confusion, distortion between two counterparts, it doesn't always manifest into that person fucking the person. It don't always manifest that way. I know a lot of times readers may say that and pick up on that, but that is not the case in all cases, especially if you are not somebody who just decided to run and fuck off all quick and fast and stuff. Okay. In some cases, the person that you was connected with, y'all have that in common. Like, y'all have like a level of self-control, self-respect, and self-discipline. You're not quick to, just fuck somebody else. Like, y'all. So yeah, this was somebody who you got the nanny. That's how she became the nanny. Now I'm hearing clean up woman. Is a woman who. If y'all know the lyrics, or if y'all can finish that, please put that in the chat or in the comment section. Because somebody helped do some cleanup work. So that means that there was a counterpart that had some blind spots. And this karmic didn't realize that's how she became the nanny. I'm sorry. Oh. You got extreme weather conditions. All right. You got painting a deceitful picture of you to others who then search you themselves and actually like you. Well, damn. Well, damn. This is like, oh my God, this is something else. But that's a part of that due diligence, studying to show approval. You get what I'm saying? So they attract all this attention to you. You over here shining your light, holding up the sword of truth. Okay, and it's like, damn, like they didn't realize that you was going to help these people, or you was going to clear up whatever confusion or distortion that they projected onto those people, because you're the truth speaker. You're the person who sets people free by telling the truth, because the truth sets people free. So they done sent these people over here to gangsta you, collective. Just for these people, just for you to expose them to these people. And also expose things that they've done to these people. So you played yourself. Okay, cool. Well, it's giving that they did these people a favor. You got low budget thought processes. Well, this person could be pulling back from social media. This person with a low budget thought process. Look, learning an important life lesson. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Man, look. There could have been some type of accusations of addiction and stuff like that. Okay? You got cokeheads in the reverse. Somebody could be dealing with some type of addictions in secret. Or they could be hiding this. Yeah. You got a new address. Somebody could be in this. You got beautiful liar. Somebody could be in this energy of like wanting to escape and like start over somewhere else where people don't know them like that. You feel me? So somebody could be in that energy where they want to just like wipe everything clean, try to start over and shit. You know? This could also be because you got unite. Haunted severely by paranoia and darkest fears. Shaking my head. Well, but somebody united themselves with this paranoia, with their darkest fears. This is somebody who wanted your darkest fears to come to pass, but you don't operate out of fear because God didn't give you that spirit. So what the fuck? Anyway, but somebody wanted to haunt you, harass you, okay? Put you in the energy of fear, fearfulness, and all of this shit. Looking over your shoulder, paranoid, feeling unsafe, feeling insecure. Now they're in that energy. But they've united with that. Like, so what did you expect? You opened yourself up to that. And you thought that STDs. You thought the collective, you thought the divine beings was going to open the door to this energy that you was projecting. But no. Clink, clink. Collective got a chastity belt, okay, over their front door, the windows, and all type of shit when it comes to demonic energy. Like, what do you mean? Look, so now these lies are being dismantled, okay? Or you've helped dismantle some type of false information, okay? Lies dismantled, false information dismantled, or is actively dismantling. Yep, same evil strategy, new target of sacrifice. I'm telling you, these people, y'all have helped these people that they sent, whoever this leader, man, look, whoever this person with this little selfish bitch, whoever this person was that gathered these people to like help create hell for you, a living hell for you. These people have been watching you, and you have been helping these people dismantle lies that this person has told them, or shady shit that they've done to them, or how they've done the same evil strategy to them. This will also just be you dismantling a whole cult that does this to people. Same evil strategy, new target of sacrifice. The last target, I'll tell you that. Seeing right through these people deception, even though they wear a friend mask. See? A mask of being a friend, seeing right through their deception. And you are innately inclined in having this ability. Y'all just be giving people the benefit of the doubt. Y'all be giving people grace and mercy. It says, you are a sacred and wise mother. Children are a part of your destiny. I have been guarding and protecting your womb, the sacred mother. And look what's right after that. Protect children. An amazing friend. Shaking my head. What I say, they wanted to create a personal hell for somebody like this? Somebody who's an amazing friend? Somebody who's a sacred mother, whether you have biological children or not, you're this sacred maternal energy to others, including adults. Okay, y'all out here loving people more than they mama loved them? What the hell? And they try to create a personal hell for you? Fuck out. Okay, there you, well, you go ahead and unite with that personal hell, you know. Hey, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Look, this is somebody who's been abusing come to me in love spells. Shaking my head, bruh. Look, energy drainer. Doing come to me in love spells. Look, somebody could be reclaiming ownership of themselves, or like reclaiming their lives and shit like that from these people that was doing come to me or love spells and trying to drain them. This is also your energy. Like, you own yourself. These are people who wanted dominion over you. Oh my God. It says, why not? Okay, why you and not me type of vibes. Oh my God. Like, girl, like, this bitch. Severe denial. Ain't that something? Man, you people need to be careful about these jobs and shit that they be a part of, and the intentional conditioning that they be doing, because there's some people, their minds are just, but the military, like, if you're weak-minded, you do not need to be in that field. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because, I mean, for one, they're on the hunt. They intentionally try to get people like that. They either want weak-minded or very bright, brilliant minds. And all in all, they're going to try to condition, those minds to work in their favor. Okay, even if the favor is, to be at other people's expense. And there's some people that overcome that. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who don't. You got thoughts that certain people were against you due to spell work. Some of those people highly respect you and find your spirit pleasing. It says courage is the missing ingredient. Okay. There's something significant about a spiteful air sign. Okay. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Okay. There could be something significant about an unwanted pregnancy as well. It says disrupted your peace only to have theirs completely stripped away. You know something? Setting up wealthy men to rob them. Man, come on. Like, you know what? I ain't even gonna do it. I ain't gonna do you like that for now. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I mean, I can't really control what come out, you know what I'm saying, every video, but I'm, I know you already, look, these karma individuals really be weak-minded, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I don't care how much they try to weaponize somebody that you love against you. These people are weaker than you. They are weak-minded. They're weak-spirited. I'm telling you. They are not worth. They are not. I really hate that some people have taken their own lives, like, because of this type of bullying and harassment. I really hate it, because the thoughts that was flooding their mental space weren't even theirs. It was from these weak-minded individuals projecting onto them. And if they just would have, just love themselves, or be taught, how to love themselves, or be taught, the dynamics of warfare, bro. Spiritual, psychological, emotional. Like, if they were just armed properly, bro, we would have still had a lot of people here, bro. Now, of course, some, in a lot of cases of suicide, are due to people who try to intentionally fearmonger and create fear and paranoia and project harassment, and it backfires. Or people doing witchcraft or abusing energy, and it backfires, and then they can't cope with the demons that they've conjured up or that they open themselves up to, and then they end up taking themselves out. That may be somebody's fate. The fact that I'm even talking about it. Y'all, I don't know who sang this song. I'm hearing, if I could turn back time. Y'all, let me tell you, these are people who thought this shit was funny, because my divine ancestors like, woo, woo, woo. I'm picking up on some divine ancestors that's laughing at these motherfuckers. And I'm talking about, like, I hear the topic that I just discussed. They don't care at all. They don't care. They laughing at these people who are losing this battle to these demons they thought they was big, bold, courageous enough to conjure and play with. And they're literally just dwindling away. And y'all divine ancestors, it's like things were woo, 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 woo. Oh my God, why is y'all doing this? Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Sinclair from Living Single. We are living, hey, singer. That's going to be some of these people's fate. These are people who wanted you to, be single, miserable for the rest of your life. But that's their fate, because that's what they wanted for you. Oh, the 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girls. Hey, keep your head up. What? Keep your head up. That's right. Y'all are the ones, like, when y'all single, y'all like yourselves. Like, y'all okay with rolling solo. Y'all are very selective, actually. Like, you know your worth. You know your worth. You ain't got to just settle for everybody and anything. Yeah. You got, yeah. You're not really missing anything. Oh, when a night, keep your head up. What? Keep your head up. That's right. Whenever this life get tough, you got to fight back. Homegirl standing to my left. Am I right? True blue. We tight like glue. Y'all got these type of friends. Or you're actively gaining these type of friendships and connections. Man, you know why that show did so well? Y'all ever seen like any of the recent interviews of that cast and how they all still get along well? I love that show. That's one of my favorite shows. Oh my God. All right, you guys. That's the reading. That's the message for tonight. Please do like the video. Comment if you haven't, or after I close out, comment on the video if you're guided to. It don't really matter, but please do like the video. If this gave you any confirmation, if you found this beneficial, if it resonated, if you just enjoyed the energy, if you feel like it was refreshing, because I'm speaking truth, I'm speaking facts, okay? I'm talking about the things that are, that a lot of people like to try to sweep under the rug and create illusions and stuff around, or people try to overcomplicate it or gatekeep, whatever. But I'll see you guys next time.